eaten any of these 51 foods? Sorry, but you're officially vintage. If you look at this crock-pot and immediately start drooling, if you've ever eaten ice cream from a box, if you've ever used a big old fruit log to make some juice, if you've ever eaten from a dish full of candy that was completely stuck together, or had one of these mints, if you've ever run out of buns and had to do this, if you've experienced the joy of a root beer candy, if you've ever stepped on one of these, if you've ever made popcorn like this, if you've ever opened a container like this with a knife or a spoon, if you can visualize this exact sheet pan, if you've ever eaten dessert out of a toilet paper roll, if you've ever smoked a candy cigar, or a candy cigarette, if you've ever eaten this delicacy for dinner, if you've ever enjoyed a sandwich made with this, if you've ever had a cake with the foil, if you've ever gotten a book full of lifesavers as a gift, and if you know that butter rum is forever the best flavor, if you've ever had to use a can opener to drink Hawaiian punch, if you've ever grabbed a soda from this machine, if you know exactly what's in this box and have eaten it, maybe even like this, if you know that salad just hits different out of this exact wooden bowl, if you know that all the best foods are always made in this exact casserole dish, and this type of skillet, if you've ever torn open a cereal box and pulled this move, if you remember having one of these while out running errands, if you've ever had a long, long night after having some of this, if you have a very, very strong opinion about liver and onions, if you've ever almost cut your tongue while trying to enjoy some of this pudding, if you've ever pulled this great trick, if you've ever paid 1 cent for a handful of probably stale gum, if you've ever concocted a delicious mixture in this exact blender, if you know full well there isn't any butter in this container, if you know exactly what song you'd put on if you saw one of these in a diner, if you've ever dipped the good dip, if you've ever chewed this gum, if you know someone who loves this snack, if you ever ate at Wendy's back when the packaging was yellow, if you've ever had to do manual labor just to open up and eat this candy, if you've ever made popcorn in one of these, if you've gazed upon some amber-colored wine glasses nobody drank from, if you've ever had one of these at your grandma's house and only at your grandma's house, if you've ever had the honor of having a cup of the fanciest coffee known to humankind, if you've ever drunk lemonade out of one of these, if you've ever used a set of Revereware cookware that you probably got as a gift several decades before, if you know exactly what you'd get off this menu, if you've eaten a sandwich much like this one here, if you ever drank Kool-Aid out of this exact container, and if you've ever had a great night turn into a rough morning from this,